Tonight's Raw, the Raw after Fastlane. The beginning of the show, we saw The Shield come out and give their farewell address. They're really milking the fact that Dean Ambrose supposedly is leaving. One night, I beg to differ, and I think, no, he actually is staying. And then tonight, it seemed like, all right, maybe he is leaving because the Shield, they were out there, they were giving their speeches, and the whole time I'm waiting for Ambrose to turn. I'm waiting for him to attack Roman or attack somebody, but no, they did the three fist pumps and they leave. They leave Rollins in the ring to talk about Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman comes out, and then Shelton Benjamin. Remember that guy? He came out, he attacked Seth Rollins, even though Shelton Benjamin is technically a SmackDown guy, and even though we haven't seen him in God knows how long. In fact, I forgot he still worked for the company until he came out. It was nice to see him. I think that he should be a guy that they use on either show, just to use whenever. This ended up being a good match. Seth Rollins versus Shelton Benjamin. They went back and forth for a little bit. Paul Heyman was on commentary. Seth picked up the win. Immediately after, Finn Balor defended the Intercontinental title against Bobby Lashley. The match was fine, but I was pretty upset to see Finn lose this belt. I feel like he just won it, and it's already back on Lashley. Leo Rush came out and made the distraction. And so I don't know what the point of all of this was. I don't know what the point of Finn Balor winning the belt in the first place was. Because now you set this up like Balor can't beat Lashley. He couldn't pin him in either scenario. And now Lashley has the belt again. I don't know if this is going to lead into WrestleMania with them fighting once again. I honestly wish it doesn't because I'm not interested. And then Ronda Rousey comes out. And she's out here to give an explanation for why she got Becky disqualified last night. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Clearly, she wants Becky in the match, but of course, WWE, they have to overly explain that and let us know. Ronda comes out and gives a very fast promo. Her promos aren't her strong suit. I am aware of this, but sometimes it's hard because what she's saying is interesting. The words that she's using actually does sound compelling, but because she's talking so fast, because she's delivering it so damn quick, the message gets lost almost in a sense. Dana Brooke comes out. Who? Yeah, Dana Brooke. She came out to talk, and it took her forever to get to this point where basically she's never on TV, and Ronda usually does an open challenge after a pay-per-view, and so she wants a fight. Ronda says, okay, and beats the holy living hell out of Dana Brooke. That was actually kind of amusing. Aleister Black and Ricochet face off against Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Match was fine. Black and Ricochet win. All right, let's move on. Alexa Bliss does a Moment of Bliss segment where she announces the host of WrestleMania 35, and I pretty much knew where this was going, but it's Alexa Bliss herself. Alexa Bliss is hosting WrestleMania. This is fine. This is the perfect spot for her. She's not going to wrestle. I guess they're still worried about her concussions or any injuries she might have, so at least this will get her on the show. At least this will get her in some nice spots, probably some backstage segments, maybe something at the top of the show. Braun Strowman gets a new car from the SNL guys from last week. If that segment last week was so horrible, not only the SNL guys and how bad they were, but the fact that one of them asked Braun if any of this is real. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this with WWE lately, where we're constantly calling it fake? We're constantly letting the fans know that all of this is fake. Braun goes out there. Speaking of fake, how fake was this car? How cheap was it? He was able to just rip the door right off, rip the seats right off. It was too easy. Come on, at least make it look hard. Even when Mark Henry used to lift stuff, or when Big Show used to lift cars, now Braun Strowman would lift cars. At least it would look heavy. But this was one of the worst destroying of a car parts I've ever seen. This just was laughable. Nothing cool about Braun Strowman really anymore. Elias comes out. He has one of his usual segments where he makes fun of the crowd. No Way Jose, remember him, comes out. He has a new look. He has new hair, which I don't know who told him that was a good idea. But Elias destroys him. A lot of top guys, or at least top guys in WWE's mind, beating up jobbers. We had a lot of that tonight, like Ronda beating up Dana, Elias beating up No Way Jose. We'll get to more of that in a minute. Harlem Heat is announced for the Hall of Fame, and good for Stevie Ray, because Booker T is already in the Hall of Fame. This would be his second one. And really quick, I want to mention the fact that leave Tori Wilson alone. I'm not saying that she might really deserve the spot in the Hall of Fame, but I definitely don't think she deserves to get attacked online, attacked on Twitter, people letting her know that she doesn't deserve it. Look, it's not her fault. She had a decent enough career as far as being on TV, being in storylines, and it's not her fault that her role was just to be hot and have bikini contests and do everything like that. And plus, it's not her fault that she got the call to be in the Hall of Fame. Just wanted to point that out. Speaking of somebody who doesn't deserve their spot, though, Lacey Evans comes out once again just to come out and then turn back around. Nia Jax is supposed to have a match with Natalya, but it doesn't really happen. Beth Phoenix gets involved, and I don't know where this is going to go. Is it Natalya and Beth versus Nia and Tamina at WrestleMania? God, I hope not. In fact, I don't think Nia and Tamina deserve a spot on WrestleMania, given their horrible performances in matches lately. I know Sasha and Bayley attacked them backstage as well. Maybe it's going to be a multi-women's title match, tag title match. Just, again, I don't care about that either. WWE's whole plan nowadays is, hey, let's just shove everyone in a match. A multi-man match, a multi-team match. Do we ever get one-on-one or just two teams against each other for WrestleMania? Does that ever happen? Triple H comes out for a face-to-face with Batista. I really like heel Batista. I like Hollywood Batista, him and his bodyguards and his entourage. This segment was a little awkward, though. You could tell they were going back and forth and repeating themselves, saying the same stuff over and over again. But honestly, I'll rather take this than take any scripted segment that usually does happen in WWE, where a lot of the dialogue is forced. At least Batista was passionate. At least his anger seemed real. He wanted Triple H for WrestleMania. He admitted that this will be his last match, I guess. But he also wants it to be Triple H's last match, and maybe it should be. It's going to be a no-holds-barred match. That, too, will help make it probably a lot better. Kurt Angle comes out to address his future. How many times have we done this before? But this time he gets to say it. He says that he will have his farewell match at WrestleMania. So another guy who will be having their last match. I don't know how this is going to play out, though. Like, does Kurt get to pick who he's going to fight at WrestleMania, or is somebody going to challenge him? And so we're going to know beforehand. There's so many guys that I want to see Kurt wrestle before he retires in WWE, guys that he hasn't wrestled before, guys like Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. I could probably think of a few people. And it sucks that they brought out Apollo Crews, who I don't have anything against the guy. He's a good athlete and he can put on good matches, but it's so hot and cold with him. For a couple of weeks, WWE will want to put him on TV and have him in some big matches, and then he'll be gone for a month or two. I swear, we probably won't see him on Raw for the next month, so this match just seemed a little wasted for Kurt. Kurt does get the win. Roman Reigns is supposed to have a match with Baron Corbin, which I sort of rolled my eyes, but then I thought to myself, well, if Roman fights Baron Corbin tonight, at least it won't happen, hopefully, at WrestleMania. So I thought that was a good thing, until Drew McIntyre attacks Roman and beats the holy living hell out of him. Roman seemed out of it, and he said he had a headache, and I don't know if Rollins and then later Ambrose backstage, if they were trying to imply that maybe Roman came back too quick. And I don't know. But Roman goes to the trainer's room. Dean Ambrose is upset. He goes, he bumps into Triple H. He demands a match with Drew McIntyre. He wants it to be Falls Count Anywhere. Triple H gives it to him. So the actual main event is Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre. And this was probably the best part of the show. This match, they went through the crowd. They went backstage in the concession stands, and this was great. Reminded me of the classic hardcore matches. I wish we brought that back. And McIntyre is brutal. I love the fact that we are shoving McIntyre back in the forefront. I didn't like that they put him in this random group with Lashley and Corbin, and hopefully we're past that. Hopefully we're over that. I want the McIntyre that we saw destroy Kurt Angle a couple of months ago. The McIntyre that took out Dolph Ziggler, because we haven't seen him in the longest time. So it seems like we are back there. The spot where McIntyre shoved a pen in Ambrose's eye, that was hardcore. And then the spot where McIntyre put Ambrose's head in that railing and gave him the Claymore kick, picked up the win. This was good. It gave Ambrose a good main event spot. And once again, it does make it seem like he's leaving because he lost this match. He loses almost every match that he has on Raw besides last night. And McIntyre looks strong. And so this they went off the air. McIntyre just, I feel like it will build towards McIntyre and Roman Reigns. Look, maybe I would have preferred Dean Ambrose versus Roman to give Dean a big time WrestleMania match before he goes. But if we're not going to get that, I'd much rather Drew McIntyre do it. I wouldn't mind McIntyre possibly beating Roman at WrestleMania, although that probably won't happen. The dude just came back from beating leukemia. So guys, let me know what you thought of Raw. I thought it was a decent show. A lot of filler stuff, a lot of stuff that I didn't particularly care for, but not the worst Raw I've ever seen. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.